Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Orphan Last, aka Skylar Madison, and today we're going to go ahead and continue talking about how to make a bridge. So, let me go ahead and activate all of my layers here, and we can actually see all the different measurements that we've accomplished throughout the process of making this image. It's been a day after. I haven't messed with this image at all. I haven't touched with any of this in a day. So, I'm just kind of having to figure out, okay, well, what was the math that I used in order to create this stuff? Okay, I'm just confusing myself at this point, so I'm going to erase this stuff here, and even the red. I find that the red is actually really irritating me, so I'm gonna erase all the stuff that I have with the red so far. Okay, because it's just driving me crazy, and I need to draw this from scratch. Okay, and so now I'm going to go ahead and use maybe the purple layer. That might help me out, and just kind of draw this shape a little bit better than I did in the previous video. Okay, so this diagonal is now more visible. Alright, and I need to draw a line going straight up and down after I found center. Draw an X here, and that gives me collinear intersections, which I can use to make 1/3 marks. Draw an X right here. Okay, yeah, now I can see the 1/3 measurement marks. And then, let's see, let me go ahead and use the blue layer. And here's the 1/4 or 1/4 measurement region, little space in between, right here, between the two of them. 1/3 and 1/4. And here's the other 1/2 intersection. Alright. Cool. So, now that we have that, I can use this yellow layer. And the intersection of this little dome sort of region with this line that's going right through the center. Okay, that's what I'm interested in. So I'll just draw this center out just so that you can visualize it. I'm going to draw a line that goes straight across. Alright, excellent. So that intersection, this intersection right here, that's important because that tells me I can draw a line that goes towards the vanishing point right there, and that gets it so that I can draw out a plane, okay? Or a face to an object, whether it exists or not, okay? And this gives me an opportunity to start drawing out my construction for a circular sort of object. And I've already covered how to do that in the previous video. Okay, excellent. So now I'm going to pull out my sketch layer. No, actually, I'm going to stick with red. Red is going to be a pretty good way of reading this, because none of what I'm drawing right now is going to be visible in the final image. So red's going to be my key important thingamajig. Okay, so it looks like, how tall are these? How tall did I make these over here? Let me go ahead and pull out the yellow layer here and just kind of measure some things out with what I drew earlier, and that might help me out here. Okay, so it looks like it's 1/4. It's the 1/4 measurement. So let me pull out my yellow. I don't really need all of that right there anymore. I kind of need to see where my 1/2 mark is as it extends out towards the vanishing point. Excellent. Okay, so from here, we now have a box, I guess. But you know what? I'm just going to draw a horizontal line that goes right through here. Okay, yeah. Alright, that's the face that we're needing right there. Okay, so now we can go ahead and construct a half circle, I guess. Yeah, that's basically what I decided upon. Wait a second. If it's a half circle, okay, so I need to go something like that. Find center to go straight up and down. And then I need to draw these arrows that goes something like that. But this doesn't look right. I mean, I can actually look at the height here and draw a line going right through here. It does not look like I've got the height right. Oh, right. Oh, I see what I'm doing wrong. I need to find center here and draw a line that goes towards the vanishing point right through center. Alright, that's good. Alright, now I can go ahead and draw a half circle with the red layer. Okay, that's cool. And, you know, maybe I'm just going to eyeball where this is. It doesn't really matter how this goes back here in this little area here. So I'm just going to eyeball a half circle. It's just a series of pixels at this point. So basically what this gives us is a plane. us sketching out as accurately as possible the heights of these objects and such. Okay, and so what we need is we need to draw out the dome that goes here. Alright, because ultimately what I showed you in the last video where I draw out a square and then you draw out an X and you draw a line horizontally going through that center that you've created with the X, what this gives you is the ability to draw out a diamond shape in the center, okay? And this will help you to be able to draw circular or oval sort of objects. And that becomes especially important when you have a face that's kind of going all wonky and it's all going with the vanishing point. Okay, when you start using this symbol to draw out your ellipses or your circles and such like that, what you do is you're able to still draw out the same symbol with all of that foreshortening distortion involved, and you're still able to kind of follow these lines in order to eyeball what a circular object would be. And there you have it. You have a circle. Basically, if this was a cup that was just sitting on the counter or something like that, this ellipse that I just drew out is incorrect when compared to this one, okay? It's always going to be more accurate when you're using a vanishing point. Your camera angle is the location of your vanishing point. Okay, so we already have these diagonals that go towards the center here, which is a diamond. Okay, if we continued that down, it would be a diamond. 1/2 of a diamond basically is here current. So what we can do is we can actually go ahead and start sketching out an ellipse right around here. Awesome. Now this is the uppermost portion that would be seen of this top surface to the floor of this particular archway right here. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line that goes across. So this right here needs this going across it, like going through. Alright, and that tells us where the furthest most point is on this very narrow side here. Really not much is going to be drawn on this side right here. Okay, so what was it that we decided? We decided it was let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm going to plot my purple layer real quick here, and I'm just going to go ahead and just draw out a plane that exists within here. Okay, so I'm just going to find center on this front face. Okay, and I'm just going to draw a line going straight up and down, draw an X over here, and draw an X over here. Okay, so now I have 1/4 marks, but maybe I might want to have this bridge to be different, make it have little narrower sides. Maybe I might want that. So I'm just going to continue measuring out. Maybe this is the 1/8 section or something like that. I'm not 100% on that, but yeah. Okay, so here and here we've established are where I want to have the length of the thickness of the sides of my bridge. So I'm going to use red real quick here and draw out, well, actually no, I think I'm going to use green. Very little green was used on all of this, so maybe I might want to peak some of this green color a little bit more. Okay, whatever, that looks good. So if I just draw to the vanishing point here, and then all the way to this back face, and then we draw a line going straight up. Okay, let's try that over here. That's cool. Alright, so we've gone ahead and drawn out a plane. So what we can do is we just need to find center inside of this plane, okay, and then draw out a triangle sort of shape. Alright, so now I have that. Let me go back to my sketch layer. It's hard to see, I know, but it takes practice and you'll be able to master it within a certain amount of time. Let me go ahead and get rid of some visualization things that are now getting in the way. Alright, cool. So now, if I draw a line that goes straight up and down here, yeah, that looks about right. Let's go ahead and copy the curvature that we've already kind of established here. But, just like with this one, it does start to narrow within this region and become kind of a point. Okay, so we need to keep that in mind. Awesome. Okay, so we've got that done. Let's see what that would look like over here. Now, I think I'm going to use red instead of green, and I'm not really quite sure if all of this is going to be necessary, to be honest. So I'm just going to extend this out towards the vanishing point, go straight up, and then bring it from the vanishing point towards the foreground, and then a line that goes straight up and down to join these together. Alright, excellent. So that looks kind of cool. I need to find center inside of this. I'm going to use purple for that. Well, no, I'm going to use green for that, and I'm just going to go ahead, draw out an X inside of this plane that we've created. Draw a line that goes straight up and down inside, and that's cool. And now I'm going to use red again, and I'm going to draw a little diamond shape inside of here. And I'm going to use a sketch layer, and I'm just going to kind of draw out what I think this would look like from this point of view. Alright, let me go ahead and just draw a line that goes straight across here, and all the hard work on this face that's barely even visible right here that I'm just kind of using the eraser on. There's no real hard work to be done on this face. Like, it's hardly even visible. Any work that you would be doing on it is basically just implying that there's detail on there. So let me go ahead and start erasing the things that we don't need. Let me go ahead and zoom out a little bit so that you can see what I've got. Okay, so I'm gonna erase all of the construction. Oops, okay. And just doing a little bit of refinement as well. Okay, so we have a bridge right here. And so if we wanted to turn off all of these other layers at this point, you can see, yeah, it looks like a bridge that's pointed at us. And so we can kind of think about things a little bit. How do we want this bridge to be either the same or different from the last bridge? And maybe we might want this bridge to be made out of something like wood or something. So maybe we might want to kind of draw it out that way. And maybe we might actually have some stuff that's going on, like some little pillars that are basically holding this portion of a ring basically up. Okay, so let me go ahead and draw this out again over here. Alright, that looks good. So you can see it's kind of a ring kind of looping through. I kind of wish I hadn't erased this line initially, but that's fine. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to activate my purple layer, and I'm just going to erase everything that I got going on with the purple layer with this particular bridge. And I'm actually going to do that correctly. Alright, now what we need to do is we're going to just draw a line here, 2 lines going here, and 2 lines going right here. Okay, and that gives us a few planes to work with. We're just going to find center in each one of these little planes, and actually we're gonna do this a little bit more often. We're gonna add a bunch of planes and just find their centers. Okay, now that we've accomplished that, I'm going to go ahead and turn on my green layer and get rid of all the stuff that I have going on with this bridge with the green layer. And I'm just going to go ahead and draw center as it goes through this object here. Okay, cool. So now we can go ahead and do a lot of really careful measuring, or we can just kind of wing it a little bit. Maybe this wall would be a little bit further out this way, actually. Yeah, that's what I think that looks good. So I'm going to sketch this, and I'm going to just draw a straight line going straight down from here. And yeah, that looks about right. And that straight line was to make sure that the floor of this bridge shares the same plane as the ring that's going around it currently, the half of a ring. If I draw a line that goes straight down here to here, and I pull out my red layer, let me go ahead and get rid of stuff with my red layer as it pertains to this here, and I go ahead and just kind of copy what I see is going on with the curvature of this floor. I can do pretty much the exact same thing. Well, one second here. That's kind of a bad idea. I'm just going to copy the curvature that I see going on from here, actually, and extend it out towards here. Okay, so basically what we have going on here is if we had a dome like this, and then we had a ring that went above it, okay? This region right here is directly below this ring right here, okay? And this ring winds up connecting right here to the dome of the, or the barrel of the bridge. So what I need here is I need to finish this other side of it, the one that's over here, kind of doing this, okay? So that looks good, and I'm just going to start drawing a bunch of lines going through here horizontally, and I'm just going to start drawing a bunch of X's going through a bunch of them. Awesome. So now I'm going to pull out my green layer, and I'm just going to draw out center, and that looks good. Okay, so now I can go ahead and turn off all these other layers, and I can see exactly how things should be. So I'm not going to do a whole ton of measuring, but I am going to start drawing some wooden pillars that are kind of just going like this. Alright, cool. So it's starting to look more and more like a bridge. Let me go ahead and erase things that are bothering me. These are little tiny nuanced areas that just really bug me. Alright, cool. That's good. So now we need to create the floor, which isn't really that difficult. And you know, I want to be a little bit more careful with this than I was with the bridge. I actually want to turn on my red layer again, and I just kind of want to erase what I got going on with the red layer real quick here. And I want to just kind of redraw a few things in here, like that right there. Okay. That looks good to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this region right here, okay? And I'm just going to start measuring extensions as it's going away from us. So I'm going to find center here and extend it all the way up with the curvature of this bridge. And I'm just going to draw out a bunch of extensions. Okay, so now I can just pull out my sketch layer, and that can help guide me as to where all my plank are going to be located. Now with stone is fairly irregular. It's not something that typically you need to worry about with sizes, but wood, typically people want wooden planks to be kind of a universal size. That's at least what I've noticed. Alright, so let's go ahead and deactivate the red, and now we have this bridge with a full-on plank system. We could even start showing hammered in nails. Now what I'm envisioning, the reason why I put these joints here so intentionally in a straight line is because of one specific reason. There's typically a plank, a wooden plank that would exist within something like this region here. I'm trying to think architecturally. What is keeping this thing standing? Okay, and so there's probably like some wooden stud of some sort right here, and we want to have our plank to have some way of sticking to the surface as well. Okay, and maybe somebody over here is interacting with them over there. Let's say it's a water balloon, okay? And he just threw it at this dude's face. And so that would make sense why he might be, I don't know, having that expression. Maybe he's about to laugh, or maybe he's a little, I don't know. Alright, we've kind of constructed somewhat of a composition here. You know, if we wanted to continue, let's pull out a nice big brush. Like, I'm kind of considering this as kind of like a rough drawing, so you know, you might want to have something in the foreground here. Nah, I mean, it adds more depth, but you know, maybe a few tree branches, maybe? Nah. Alright, so in the next video in this series, we're going to be talking about this bridge right here. Alright? So, this way we get to talk about how to make the same bridge from different angles. Anyways, guys, that pretty much concludes it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you guys would like to get more notifications from me, feel free to join me on my Discord. A link is in the video description below. Or go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Again, a link is in the video description below. If you'd like to support my channel, there's a picture of my mascot in the upper right corner of the screen right now. It goes straight to my Patreon. Any support would be much appreciated. And if you've enjoyed this content and would like to see more, feel free to click on anything that's appearing on the screen right now. Thank you very much for your time.